413.
She was raised in nobility, a princess. He was raised in hostility, a process. She either had to upgrade him to be a prince or debase herself and pay the price. And he was stronger. She went out to sea, but more than that happened. She was seen by the son of the land. She, being inexperienced and an innocent young woman who was flattered by the attention of the ruler's son, she savored the attention he was giving her. She enjoyed the way her name sounded on his lips. She thought it was a declaration of love. It was but a lie to hold the hips. She heard hello in his aloha, but what he was really saying was goodbye. With his first smile, he had already left her. He knew how to lie. His mouth said, "I love you," but in his heart he was saying, "Excuse me, beautiful. How can I waste a few years of your life with my immaturity and lack of commitment?" But she didn't have a love stethoscope to listen to the bearings of his heart, so she said, "I love you too," and braced herself for the inevitable heart. He robbed her of her honor and promised to recognize her as his wife. He broke her wall with brute force and took her captive for life. Their relationship was found in lies, so lies were needed to sustain it. Like honey, his words were, and you should know honey never spoils. His words were new every morning. She was destined to toil. His promises didn't come with a warranty. She couldn't return them even though all were broken. There was no way of telling if the "you" in his "I love you" was still high. It was just the way he spoke. His words were heavy with tar. He made her believe that love is blind, and by touching her, he was reading the braille of their future. He saw her body as an embossed paper. He read every page and then threw the book away. Scratch that. It would have been better if he had read the book. He just really actually used it. Love was his métier. She didn't stand a chance. He sang his lies and she danced. To her it was only him, to him it was only them, the full harem. She compared him with a nun, he compared her with a ton. All the porn stars, the X's, the flexes and the reflexes. He was playing with her feelings as one plays with a shilling above a latrine pit. And it was no wonder, for he himself was full of shit. She hated the skin he had red contours on, and even though we all get new skin after some time, he was still there like a tattoo and a deep scar. He gave her the best memories, then he became a memory. He enjoyed fighting with her, she enjoyed fighting for him. They were both fighting, just different schemes. For he was a master of chivalry. He knew how to act, and every word he said to her was a fact. He was a gentleman of letters. He knew what to say. He spoke to slay, he lied to stay. Her only salvation was not to listen, but his lips dripped honey. She had no other way. He was an artist of imagination. He knew how to think. "I love you," he said without a blink. He was a genius of paper. He knew what to write, and she focused on him and lost her sight. He was a master at crafting words, creating a laughter to forget the Lord. He had broken her heart, but she gave him another chance, probably because most trash is recyclable. She was being environmentally friendly. To preserve the ecosystem, she stayed in the trance. After all, everybody knew that they were together, so she had to be friendly. She had left home not to be alone, and yet with him she was lonely. Her emotions for him were unemployed. Loving him was like volunteering for no pay at a fake company. She thought that after his lifetime of wandering in the sea, he'd anchor at her bay. But the SS relationship just wouldn't stay. "Come with me" were the only lyrics in his song to her, and she had wandered in the desert for years, chasing a mirage so far. Then she remembered that he saw, he liked, she saw, she loved. He asked, she gave, he left, she left. She tried hard to forget him, but technology betrayed her, for Samson was still all her passwords. He looked like royalty, but really, Shakem was just a well-raised bastard. For a true prince would have treasured her heart and kept her well past it. Was it time for her to go back home? To her father, to her creator, to her God? Because one thing she was sure of is the love of our Lord.